Right, moving on now. In a continuing war of words, the North Korea has said that it carefully is examining a plan to strike the U.S. Pacific territory of Guam with missiles. Now, in a statement carried in the state news agency, the Korean People's Army spokesperson has said that the strike plan will be put into practice any moment once the leader Kim Jong-un makes a decision. Now, in another statement citing a different military spokesperson, North Korea also said that it could carry out a preemptive operation if the United States shows signs of provocation. Now, North Korea's reaction came just hours after the U.S. President Donald Trump warned North Korea that any threat to the United States would be met with fire and fury.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. He has been very threatening beyond a normal statement. And as I said, they will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before.
And in fresh reports, according to the US-based Washington Post, North Korea is now capable of fitting nuclear warheads in missile. The US-based Washington Post reported days after the United Nations Security Council unanimously voted for fresh sanctions against Pyongyang. Now, the report, which quotes the US intelligence, states that North Korea has successfully produced a miniaturized nuclear warhead that can fit inside its missiles. The US has concluded that the rogue country has crossed a key threshold on the path to becoming a full-fledged nuclear power. The US officials also concluded last month that Pyongyang is outpacing expectations in its effort to build an intercontinental ballistic missile that is capable of striking the American mainland. And just yesterday, the US-based Fox News had reported that the spy satellites of the United States have detected 2 anti-ship cruise missiles being loaded on a boat by the North Korean administration. The report quotes the US officials with knowledge of the latest intelligence in the region, saying that it's the first time that these missiles have been deployed on this type of platform since 2014. The latest moves by Pyongyang point to a likely missile test in the days ahead, or it could be a defense measure should the US Navy dispatch more warships to the Korean Peninsula. Now, these recent developments taking place in the Korean Peninsula are likely to deepen the concerns about an evolving North Korean military threat that appears to be advancing far more rapidly than many experts had predicted. Now, the UN Security Council recently placed its toughest sanctions yet on North Korea, following a series of ICBM tests that the Asian nation have conducted. Now, these sanctions, however, have had mixed reviews from the global leaders. Here's a report for more information.
Days after the UN Security Council imposed a new round of sanctions against Pyongyang over ICBM's tests, North Korea defended its nuclear program, claiming that the United States is the reason for the worsening nuclear crisis. Spokesperson for North Korea reiterated that they would not place its nuclear and ballistic missiles program on the negotiation table.
Is our nuclear possession a threat to the world, or is it just a threat to the United States? We want to make it clear that the worsening situation on the Korean Peninsula as well as the nuclear issues were caused by the United States.
Meanwhile, the US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson has shown US's willingness for a dialogue with North Korea, saying that the White House would talk to Pyongyang if it halted a series of recent missile test launches.
Well, the best signal that North Korea could give us that they're prepared to talk would be to stop these missile launches. We've not had an extended period of time where they have not taken some type of provocative action by launching ballistic missiles. So I think that would be the first and strongest signal they could send to us, is just stop stop these missile launches. Obviously, we have other means of communication open to them to certainly hear from them if they have a desire to want to talk.
Revising their previous stance, China has stepped up to North Korea's defense, likely motivated from its close economic relationship with the country. China's foreign ministry released a statement saying that they will be paying the price for implementing the UNSC resolution. Neighbors are concerned, however, by the growing tensions in the Korean peninsula. Japan warned of a drastic change in its defense posture.
North Korea's ICBM has become a new threat to Japan's security. On top of that, the threatening behavior by China in the East and South China Seas is unrelenting. We updated the defense white paper with our concern on these matters.
Japan and Cambodia have also agreed to consolidate their efforts against North Korea's repeated missile and nuclear weapons tests. Their united statement claimed that the international community needs to stick together to pressure North Korea. Zara Khan for WION.